Somebody asked me some time ago what I did for red mite, and I said, well, I'll explain, but I can't show you because I haven't got any, and I haven't had any for 3 years. Well, me and my big mouth, because I've now got them. Just in this one hen house, and they've really occurred because we've got the right temperature for it. And also I made the mistake of putting some cardboard down on the floor, and I don't remove that every time I clean the house out. It's that heavy card, and they've obviously found a way to multiply underneath it, because normally my hens go through the hen house when I clean the house out, and they actually clean up any insects that are in there. So they've been able to hide. As you can see here, we've already treated the most crucial parts of the perch, all along the actual piece of wood itself, and around these areas here where they could climb up. That's been treated with sunflower oil, and it's also had essential oil of oregano in it. I noticed this morning that some of the hens were actually right up against the wall of the house, so they were being able to get past going up the perch. I've just run my hand along this perch and it's totally clean, which shows that there was just a bridge by the fact that the last hen was sitting right up here, and her feathers would have been touching the back door, and that is how they got to her, unfortunately. And I can see inside the door this morning there are some. I'll just focus in on them. And you can see them there. They're gorged with blood. They're red. If I squash them, you'll see the blood comes out of them. See it on my finger. So we've still got some work to do. You can see them here as well. You can see, nasty, gorged on blood. They are quite difficult to see when they haven't eaten. And oh, there's some more here. Just show you them as well. Anyway, one thing it does prove, it works on the perch, because they dare not go back on the perch now, because it'll kill them. Essential oil of oregano will kill them. Stone dead. So how do you know when you've got an infestation of red mite? You've got to have a good nose for this, and when you open the door in the morning, you can smell them. And they smell like vinegar. But apparently not everybody can smell this smell. So one of the ways of knowing is if your hens have gone off late. If your hens have gone off late, or if you notice they're not going on the perches at night, they're all staying out, or they're up trees, or they're all on one of the perches all crowded together, or they stay on the floor, they're laying away. They're not even going in the nest boxes. But mine have actually stopped laying now, so that's how I know, apart from the smell as well, that we have an infestation here. Anyway, I've begun to treat it, and I'll just carry on now and show you what I'm doing next. I can still see, and I'm going to close up in this, that there are still some living in the screws of the perch. I mean, these are very small creatures that can get right into even woodworm holes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to zap them with steam. And we're going to use one of those things that a lot of people have hanging around in cupboards and have never used. It's a carpet steamer, and it's excellent for doing this job. So we're going to zap the ones that are walking along the perch just straight off with the nozzle now. And then we're going to start taking the perch apart and doing each individual bit. It also means when you screw these screws back in, you're putting the oil and essential oil back into the screw holes. There are hardly any on this perch. The ones that are on this perch are really grey ones. They're ones that haven't fed, so they've probably come in from somewhere else. But the ones that I treated yesterday, they're all dead. We're now dismantling the rest of the perch, and we're going to have a look what's inside these blocks here.
Screw heads are bloody.
That's the back edge of the perch where they're against the wall.
That's clean.
And to say, last time we did this was 3 years ago, and we haven't had any since, so it does work. Unfortunately, me putting the hardboards in the new hen house meant that they were allowed a build-up of them. Then along the back edge where it's been against the wall of the hen house, where they could still have survived after it, because I've also painted some parts of the hen house as well last night. This is where the worst ones are. As you can see, they're actually heaving here. Again, they're not ones that have been fed because they're all grey, so we've got to them in time. So I'm afraid they're going to meet their doom with some hot steam. Painting this with linseed oil, and I've added 3 drops of the very strong essential oil of oregano. So this should finish any off that are still on there, and it's also going to cut off their access to get to the perch. And here's an alternative way of getting rid of mites. The blow lamp. You can use this to do the wire sections if you've got wire like we have. It's pretty good. There's nothing here. This is where there was a big load of them yesterday. I'll have a look in the other areas. Anything going along here? I also noticed there was some up the doorway, so I did that with linseed oil as well. Can't see anything there. Now I'll have a look under the perches. I'm going to run my hand all the way along these 2 perches and see what I can see. I don't know if you can see that, but there is actually one on the perch. I'll just squash it there and you'll see. Yep, it's got blood on it, so it was alive and it's fed. So that just means I'm going to put another layer of oil underneath the perch. But apart from that, I think we're okay. Great. I'm having a look down in this corner, which had a lot of red ones, ones that had been feeding on the chickens yesterday down here. There are none. So what I'm going to do now is I shall now leave it for another few days, which will give time for any eggs which have been laid within the woodwork to hatch, and then I'll treat it again if necessary. But it's always good to do a follow-up. I mean, at the moment I'm not seeing anything, I'm not smelling anything. The chickens came out this morning, they didn't look agitated in any way. They were on the perches last night, so it looks like everything's okay at the moment.